what's up, Chef?
Hi, Carla. What's going down?
Listen, girl, you know nothing but the mortgage.
You
But
can't. Yo, girl, shoot.
listen, you overstand. I know that you do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you were talking in your series saying that you were classically trained but soul food raised, I really love that you started every episode out
Mm-hmm.
that way. And I really wanted to know more than anything else, other than your infamous tagline. How
Mm-hmm.
did you find these chefs and these farmers and these restaurants all around the world? Because I'd seen another series that's similar to this called
Mm-hmm.
The Hog on
Mm-hmm.
Netflix. I'm sure you're familiar with it, but
Yes.
they kept it very indicative to just black people, black.
Mm-hmm. Right,
They
right,
didn't
right,
take it all over the world. So I just
right.
was curious why you decided to do it this way, because it was really interesting.
Well, one thing I love High on the Hog and how he's doing his thing. I wanted to take it a different direction because I wanted to inflate the power of us a little bit more, and I wanted to put us on the global stage. You know what I mean? I wanted
I
to show
do.
the power of what we've created here and show that there's not one country I could walk into and say the word soul food and they don't know. They may not know exactly what it is, but they've heard of it. And I wanted to see how we all connected through this story of struggle, pain that turns into love. How do these meals have affected other people in other countries? I mean, Peru, the Japanese were damn near slaves on per diem. We don't even know. They had to figure out sushi over there. Like all of this. These are
Not
things.
slaves on per diem,
Yes,
chef.
yes. They gave him a little something. And it was like they thought they was going home. They were like, you ain't going nowhere. So that's one of the things that I wanted to highlight. Like sometimes in America, we get so bogged down in the struggle and it's this is progress to me. This is power. We have to show I have to inspire people by what is given to me, my hands, my craft. And I think that there's young people out there that go, oh, wow, that's what we look like when we go, to different countries. Or now we can tell our story because a lot of people shame soul food and they say we shouldn't make it anymore and all of these things, but it's because they don't understand that soul food is love. And if
You
you want
know,
to evolve it, but don't erase it.
I love that you brought that up, because I remember when you were in LA and you were talking to the Korean barbecue dude, and he said that it's called soul food, or he believes that it's called soul food
Mm-hmm.
because you can't bound a soul, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
that people want to love and they want to eat. So that
Mm-hmm.
ties in perfectly with what you just said.
Yeah.
Having said that, is there any recipe during the course of your travels that you decided to add to your restaurant menu at My Two Cents?
There is not a recipe yet, but I had some things that had jerk in it, but I started playing with, I did do, because I did a rib special and I did a agave jerk thinking about, um, the Maroons and in Jamaica. There's some other things that are on the list, but I've been so kind of busy doing this that I haven't really got a chance to get in there and get it going. But there's so
Mhm.
many great things. Even just the hot water cornbread, finding out that, hello,
That part, that part,
and they
that
took
part.
that from them, then we still have, okay. And that's another thing about this series. I want the audience to be surprised just like me. I want to come in and all of us are like, what? And I just want to be the vessel to us knowing more, because we know the sad stories and the this, that. Right now we need something that uplifts us and everybody, and we need to stop with this guilty past of trying to erase our history.
That brings me to this. I remember at one point you were talking about through each episode, through each country or city
Mm-hmm.
that you went to, you specifically dealt with Black culture in
Mm-hmm.
some shape, form, or fashion,
Mm-hmm.
and how our cultures have literally been forced to search for soul food,
Right,
right?
right, right.
And the stigma that has been attached to soul food,
Mm-hmm.
especially when it comes to our people having diabetes, and
Right,
and what comes along with that.
right.
But I remember, and I can't remember which episode it was, but there was one episode where someone was talking about that's a stigma. Diabetes is a stigma, and Black people don't get diabetes from eating soul food. They get it because of the way it's cooked.
Right. And they don't get it. Also, they don't get it. There's a lot of other foods that can give you diabetes that Black people like. But at the same time, they have to think about it. When soul food was created, it was not as it evolved for a second and became this whatever it was doing. It was farm to table. Basically, everybody had a farm. Every grandmother was growing vegetables. You see what I'm saying? And we didn't get that much meat. So it's us that needs to evolve our food. That's why I like to call my food evolve nostalgia. It makes you feel like grandma, but it makes you feel like today. You know, you don't get the itis, but you feel amazing.
I love that you said you don't get the itis. You are so freaking real. I love you. I love you. There was the one episode that you did in Mississippi that reminded me so much of my hometown, St. Louis, Missouri, when you were at Maxine Dixon. It reminded me of church on Sundays in St. Louis, where they would be cooking in the basement and you could see food as you came around the corner. I wanted to know for you, other than that place where you smelled the food coming around the corner, what was the one place that you went to that just resonated to your core?
It was Maxine's, and it was also in the LA episode, it was Woody's Barbecue. Because Woody's Barbecue has been a staple in my house since I was born. And it came when a time that all of us would get together and there was no competition when you were trying to make Black business. It was everybody was helping everybody. And that was inspiring to hear their story, and that tapped into who we are as people. That's why it became soulful, because it is love. You know what I mean? And I think that really hit home at home was Woody's Barbecue.
Cool. Well, here at home, I'm in LA, so I'm bringing my peeps over to My Two Cents, and we're going to get our big rub on. I hope that you will be there that day when we show up, but I'm going to find out your hours and we coming through, okay?
Sounds good to me. I'll be there.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you.
Thank you. I can't wait for you to watch the series. Make sure you're up with your popcorn on June 2nd, Hulu, Onyx Collective, Searching for Soul Food. I appreciate you.
Better get that plug in. Thank you.
You know I'm doing it.
Thank you.